Hello. These are the 5 need-to-knows for week 3 from the readings of Adams, Jefferson, and Franklin. The first need-to-know is that we read 3 passages from 3 very intellectual leaders, but they kind of create a metaphor of a lighthouse, particularly the Fresnel light, which is very complex. The context is made up of multiple things different from the 2 readings before. So they're talking through thousands of stories and arguments, which is like a Fresnel light, which takes the complexity of things. Speaking of the context, that brings me to point 2, which is that the context of these readings are actually the most important aspect of them. We read 2 sets of political pieces, declaration and a dissertation, both of which justify a separation from England. So again, it's like a Puritan view where they're separating themselves from the Church of England, but this is more political. The third need to know is what is a feudal society, and it is a ranking system politically, economically, and even religiously. So the serfs are at the bottom of this ranking system, and they don't really move forward for 1,000 of years because they're illiterate and they don't know any better. They don't know that they have this option to leave. So that brings me to the fourth point, which is um, the importance of the printing press, which was invented in 1440. And as books are created and people begin to read and gain knowledge, they realize that they can part from this very rigid feudal system, and that they don't need to do all of this to change their rank in this system. That they can just leave. So this brings me to my last need to know, which is about Franklin and his un-Puritan view of being kind of agnostic, which he doesn't identify himself with one religion, so to speak. But although his virtues are still Puritan virtues, he kind of does a story swap and places liberty in place of holiness. So that kind of ties it all together. Going from a feudal system in which there's only holiness in order to move up in ranking, to the printing press, where you start to realize that there are other ways to be free, and into Franklin's view of liberty, which changes everything completely. And that is all for week 3.